Are you stuck in a losing streak? You can't score to save your life? Your team keeps conceding? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get out of it and start turning those losses into wins. Hey guys, I'm Tonkerton and I'm going to tell you exactly how to get out of the losing streak in Football Manager 2017. This is video number 1 on how I use tips and tricks that I have learnt to get the best out of my players and tactics on Football Manager 2017. The link to the rest of this playlist is in the description below, and if you want to see how I actually use these tips and tricks in an actual Football Manager save, then check out my Derby County series, which is also in a link in the description below. Also, in the comments below, I am just curious. Let me know what you guys do to overcome a losing streak in Football Manager 2017. I know it's difficult, so just let me know in the comments below how you do that. Okay, so how do you get out of a losing streak? First thing we need to talk about is morale. Morale is important for Football Manager 2017. I would say it's the most important factor in the game to date. Mainly because if your squad is unhappy or the morale is really low in your team, you are not going to win matches. Straightforward as that. Now this is because if your morale is low, your players when they are out on the field are not going to want to perform. If they go 1-0 down in the 10th minute of the game, they're just going to think, what's the point? And just carry on playing as badly and then just lose the game 3 or 4-0. So what I do is if our team is in a bad way with morale, I look at the morale and I go to team meeting. Team meeting is the best way possible to get your morale on players up. Because you can go in there, put an arm around them, say you have complete and utter faith in them, and that way, when they go out into the field, they know that their manager has faith in them to go out and get a result. Now, this also applies to press conferences, player interactions, and team talks. Using these four items in connection with each other, you should be able to get the morale of your players up to the point where they can scrape a win from an opponent and keep that run going. All it takes is one win to get the morale of your players up and to start winning games. All it takes is one. So that's what you got to find, just one win. So that's how morale works in Football Manager. Again, I think it is the most important factor for this, but there are other factors as well. The next thing to point out is tactics. In a losing streak, your initial reaction is to completely change the formation. Radically. Wrong. Don't do it. It will affect your players. They won't have trained the formation, they won't know the formation, they won't feel comfortable in the formation, and it's just going to lead to a downward spiral. Trust me, I've done it. I've made the exact same mistake where I've radically changed the formation and everything's still gone to pot. So what you can do instead is slightly tweak the roles of some of your players. Say for instance, George Thorne in my Derby County save is playing as a ball-winning midfielder in the defensive midfield position. What I might do is I might change him to an anchorman or a halfback, because that way he's more defensively minded. He's more likely to drop into that centre-back position when the opposition are coming towards you. Now, I wouldn't completely isolate your attackers because you'll have no outball. But what I would do is I would put Will Hughes, for example, onto the defend. So he sits back a bit more and he can defend if needs be. Or maybe I would put Jacob Butterfield in the central midfielder support role, so he can actually judge what's happening through the game. I wouldn't just go all out and take your attacking options away, because at the end of the day, to win a game, you need to score goals. And once you score goals, you can win games. So that's what I do if we are conceding too many goals. I change the player roles to put them in a more defensive situation where we can stop conceding. If the opposite is true, and we are not scoring as many goals, what I do is I change some more roles to the attacking situation. Now, this helps because you have more out balls and more chances to create goals, which is the most important thing. If you're not scoring goals, you need to score goals. Sounds simple, right? So for example, what I would do is I would change Chris Martin to a target man. Now that target man is going to drop balls off to the other striker, who I will put onto a poacher. Makes sense. So more times than not, those two tricks that I've just shown you, morale and changing the player roles to suit what's happening to your team and why you're in a losing streak, will get you out of it. What's helped me get Derby County from the Championship to the Premier League. It's what's helped me in many saves beforehand. I've seen it on many other YouTubers' channels where they've changed a slight thing and they start getting results, and it snowballs from there. And once it snowballs, it becomes a lot more fun, you start getting wins, and you can go where you want. However, if changing some of the player roles don't work, there's only one thing you can do. Quit. Okay, just kidding. You don't need to quit. What you really need to do is, if the player roles don't work, is switch to a more defensive tactic. Because all you need to do is just scrape a 1-0 win from somewhere, and you can use that tactic, building it, to get more goals in the future. But to start off, you only need to scrape a 1-0 win. So how I would do that is I would use the mentality, the team shape, and the team instruction. I would use these to set our team up more defensively so we can't concede goals, and also to sit on a counter-attacking basis. Because if you counter the opposition while they're coming onto you, you're more likely to score a goal. If you want me to do another video on how I create a defensive tactic if we are in a losing streak, then I will definitely do that for you. But I can't put a blanket tactic up for you on the workshop, because my tactics probably won't work with your tactics and the way your team is set up. So that's not going to work. You just need to modify and tweak your tactic which best suits you to get that 1-0 win to start the ball rolling. Now, if you use these 3 tips on how to get out of a losing streak, your team's fortunes will change drastically. And when it's better, you can do anything you want in the game. So, leave a like on the video and let me know in the comment section on how these tips are working for you. Also, if you have any other tips on how you get out of a losing streak, leave them in the comments below. Some other people would find them very helpful. Because like I say, my tips and tricks aren't the only ones out there. Many different people have different ways of doing things. So I encourage all comments in the description and I will reply to every single one of them. If you want to see more amazing Football Manager tips and tricks, leave a subscribe on the channel and go check out the other content on my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.